I want to talk to you a little bit today about looking silly or looking stupid. When you're younger, you have this thing where you don't really care about those sorts of things. Like if you want to learn to ride a bike, you're willing to go and learn how to ride the bike. You won't do it terrifically well at the start. You'll probably fall off a couple of times, but you'll get back on till you get good at it. And that's one of the things I've been really wondering about. Like, what is it that when we become adults that we become afraid of what people think, and we become afraid of what if somebody else sees me, or what does somebody else think of me when I'm doing this, and that we let that kind of control whatever it is we're doing. But that I've started seeing that like your first website you build will not be the best website you ever build. Your first video you record will not be the best video you ever record. But the whole thing is that are you willing today to start taking action on one of these things? It doesn't matter what it is. Because if you're willing to start today and do something, then it means you're willing to kind of, I was going to say fail forward, but you're willing to just look silly and you're willing to try something out. Because that's the key with it. Is that anybody who's at the top of their game, they've probably been failing forward for years. Do you know what I mean? They find more and more ways to get something that doesn't work. So that's one more thing they can eliminate. And that, like, I've been looking at a lot of videos from, shall we say, public speakers, people who are very high earners now. The likes of Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Les Brown, any of these people. And the thing that separates that level from, shall we say, everybody else is that they were willing to go out and look silly at the start. They put down that thing of what do other people think of me, and they said, where do I want to go? And they just went, okay, that's where we're going. What do we need to do to get there? We need to practice. And then for any person you see now who's like standing there on TV or on a stage, and you look at them and you go, wow, they have something I don't have. I'd love to have what they have. You have everything that they have. They were just willing to go out there in the beginning and speak to anybody they could get their hands on. That meant that they'll go out and they'll speak to schools, they'll speak to delivery companies, they'll speak to prisons, they'll speak to anybody. Because they know that the more times they speak, the better they get at it, and they hone their craft. So that when you see them now, and they're like 10, 20 years down the line, you look at them and you think they have something that you don't have, or they have some key to something that you don't have. You constantly look for that. What I'm here saying to you is that if you're willing to put up a blog that you know is not perfect, if you're willing to go out for a jog today and look silly because you don't feel too good, if you're willing to go and talk to your boss about some idea you have, it's that willingness to actually bring these things out there and test them. If you're willing to do that, it's going to be exciting when you look back a year from now and see where you were now to where you were then. Because that's one of the things that I've been wondering is that, there's certain videos that I have up there and I'm kind of like, well, what do they mean and where are they going, and, what's that going to mean to somebody else who's looking in from the outside going, I want somebody to help me with whatever it is, but I don't really want that particular thing. Well, for me, it just changes that around, and it comes back to, if you're not willing to look stupid, make those mistakes, figure it out as you go, then it means you'll actually never start. You'll never get to the end. Whereas for everybody who's out there who's like terrified of video, I guarantee you there's videos out there that I could do 100 times better now. But that's not the point. The point is that if I didn't start out and do those then, make the mistakes then I wouldn't have got to now where I'm saying, this is what we need to do. And I know what to do. And I've learned lots of things about it. But it's that willingness to take that first step and to screw up. Being willing to screw up and say it's okay. Because if you're not willing to do that, you're just going to stay where you are. And I'd say, to be honest with you, don't try it. Because it's going to be painful and it's going to be hard. But the really exciting thing is that when you do try new things, you do see where it takes you, that's exciting. Because you'll start off and you'll do something, whatever it is that you're trying to do, You'll do that a couple of times, you'll feel a bit silly, and a month later or 2 months later, you won't even think about that thing anymore, you'll just do it. And that's the whole thing with action, is that if you're not taking action, you're still gathering knowledge, there's something wrong. Take some sort of action towards it today. I don't even care what it is, it doesn't need to be massive, it just means little steps every day and you get there. Whereas if you're not willing to start today, when are you going to start? So take those steps, look silly, and you know what? Who cares about what anyone else thinks? Because you need to do this for yourself. You need to take yourself to the next level. And that's the goal. The goal isn't to sit around and wait for everybody else to tell you it's okay, because that'll never happen. So take that chance to yourself today and just go for it.